Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the highly anticipated first episode of the Bobby Sauce Show. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. If you had any idea what it took to get this going, you would be blown away, Larry. So I just wanted to say thank you all so much for being a part of this experience. And I am so glad to be here. I'm so glad that you are here. And I hope that you can see all of the absolutely outrageous upgrades that I have made to my studio here. And everything is about to get very crazy. We are now simultaneously casting on Facebook, YouTube, Getter, Rumble, Instagram, and TikTok simultaneously. That is a new first, Bill. I got a mirrorless camera of some type of, I don't even know what the fudge brownie this thing is. I got 4 screens going. It's hot as heck. The fan's blowing. There's lights. I don't even know where I am. For all the people that are watching or that are listening with the audio only experience, this audio will be available on Spotify with the video, as well as on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and all of the bag ticklers. So grab your ankles and open your brown eye, because I'm about to pop a torpedo in there and things are about to get very weird. This is probably the most high definition audio video experience that you've ever seen, certainly on the tube of you and the book of faces and the rumbles and all that. I had a lot of what the heck is it called, technical difficulties, if it were, getting this going, but it looks, as far as I can see, it looks A1. I got the flag going over here. I got a bunch of different things happening. So I hope you guys all appreciate and enjoy what I have to say here. I do not usually live stream on TikTok. So TikTok, what's good, fam? Gina, if you're watching, thanks for nothing. Don't censor me, bro. Whatever. Everything's trash. The world is on fire. Listen. First of all, thank you guys so much again. For everybody that is new here, my name is Bobby Sausalito, also known as Take Naps, the Sultan of Slay, Bobby Sauce. This podcast and all of these audios and visuals will be available permanently on my website on bobbysauce.com, as well as on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Rumble, Getter, TikTok, everything there is to be. And I anticipate, now that I've invested a metric bag of rice ton of literal inflation, Joey, 10% to the Palm Dealer simoleons into this studio. Hopefully I'm going to be doing this a lot more. Right now, as we speak, we have 141 people watching on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We have 160 people watching live right now on TikTok, and we have 178 people watching live right now on Instagram. I don't know the totals for Rumble and Getter. I don't know if it totals all those things. But anyways, thank you again so much for being here. Find me at bobbysauce.com. Tickle my bag. After the show will be available. The direct link to my Anchor, which has the link to all the podcast locations, will be available at Bobby Sauce Show or the bobbysauceshow.com. And like I said, bobbysauce.com. Again, thank you all so much for being here. Please consider supporting the channel at bobbysauce.com. All right. That was a lot. Let's get into it. Yo, we are living in a literal upside down garbage factory, trash machine, and somebody needs to play the violin while we literally crash into the literal iceberg as the world literally burns to the ground. The clam dem's been going on for something years now, and I still see people, literal human persons, allegedly human persons, perhaps NPCs, don't know, maybe a simulation, maybe not, nobody really knows. But those allegedly human persons are walking outside wearing diapers that have been in their pocket or in their car, or like they fished it out of the dumpster, slapped it over their breathing holes, and for whatever reason think that it's protecting them from absolutely nothing. So everything's trash and people are dumb. Look, we're not dealing with human persons here on the literal earth, and literally one of the things that's been bothering me the most lately is that actual allegedly human persons will be like, oh, you're just some Donnie shill, bro. You're just shill for Donnie, bro. First of all, Denal lives rent free in your head. You can support the person that's the lesser of two evils. But I just want to make it very clear, at least what my stance is here on this mysterious blue spinning like firmament ball or whatever, depending on what you want to believe. The bureaucracy, aka the central government, aka centralized authority, aka the federal government of the United States of America, is the problem. Bloated, money squandering federal government bureaucracy that has unlimited power until the end of literal frickin' time. That's the problem. It's not about Donald. It's not about Republicans. It's not about the GOP, bro. And everybody loves just being stuck in the left-right paradigm. It's not even about that. It is about bloated, overpowerful, gluttonous, outlandish, ridiculous, and all too powerful centralized bureaucracy, centralized government authority. I don't give a fudge brownie who's in charge. I don't care if it's Joey Byron, hide the kid, sniffs the parm. I don't care if it's Donald, Big Ron to Santa Claus coming down all the chimneys with all the gifts. I don't care who it is, Bill. If the government's big, if the government's telling you to walk your fudging dog with a diaper over your mouth hole, then I don't want to be part of this, Bill. Elon, page me up. I don't know. Like somebody show me on the doll where Elon touched everybody, because this is a literal trash fire, and people need to understand that it is the bloated government that is the reason why every single thing is such an actual piece of literal trash. It has nothing to do with Donnie. It has nothing to do with left and right. It's a complete trap. It's a total left-right paradigm garbage. And people are like, go watch Fox News, bro. Go and watch Fox News. And it's like, shut your hole, Wang Chung. Sorry, the mic, even though it's nice, now I'm learning the limitations. And like, look, no burn on Fox News. I don't want to come at your own or whatever, the ones that are like allegedly better than the other side. But I'm watching Brian Kilmeade a couple of minutes ago, and this squishy loser goober Lindsey Graham cracker is on, and he's like, yeah, there's going to be a big red wave in November, and yeah. It's like, shut the hell up, Lindsey. I remember seeing you shaking hands with Zelensky, handing tens of billions of dollars over to a corrupt foreign adversary, you squishy loser. How about you shut your hole, Wang Chung, and get out of office? You suck. You don't represent me. I have no affiliation with this dude. This dude's a jabroni, a literal clown sneaker, the sneaker of all clowns. Kick rocks and pound sand, you squishy goon. You're done. Retire. Hit the bricks. We're done with you, Bill. Everything is trash. I'm so sick of listening to these losers, these literal losers, try to tell it. I'm sick of watching Ted Cruz like lurch into a speech and get paid for it fudd-rucking $50,000. Be like, gee. It's like the people on the left are just like, Ted Cruz is your hero. It's like, no, I don't like Ted Cruz. It's like, I'm not over here supporting Cruz. Look, I don't care how into the political, I don't care how in you are. If a human person is like, yo, your wife is somebody's like, yo, your wife's ugly and over. It's like, your wife is a dog, like literally. You wouldn't catch me dead supporting that guy for the rest of my life. I wouldn't care if I lost my job. I wouldn't care if I lost my career. I wouldn't care. You're gonna publicly dog my wife, guy? Like, peace. I'm out. It's like Ted Cruz. Can you imagine the sexual polarity between Ted Cruz and his wife when he goes out in public and Donnie tells him his wife's a dog, and then he just goes and he's like skibidi beep 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 on the phone. And he's like, I need you to vote for Donald J. It's like, you suck. You suck. He's like, I don't know what his wife's name is. He's like, hey, can I maybe get some throat? And she's like, no, Ted, why don't you give yourself throat for that one time 6 years ago when that guy publicly annihilated me in public, and you were just like, like you just you flopped over like a wet noodle and took it in the brown eye. Like, shut up, Ted. I don't know. I'm just saying. And like, I don't want to make this about Ted Cruz, but it's just like, people don't forget, people literally do not forget. And it just bothers me so much that people are like, oh, it's the right, it's the left. Like, there's gonna be a big red wave. These people have been in office for decades. It's like the bureaucracy is the problem. The bureaucracy is full of dumpster merchants. These people are literal demons amongst us. And we're going to get trapped into thinking that we actually have some element of choice. There's only one universal solution. There's only one. And I don't care what anybody tells me. There is only one universal solution for all of our problems. And that is reduce the size of bloated government. They got far too much power. And so many people are so stupid, and they are like anti-establishment. They're just like, oh, capitalism's the problem. Capitalism's evil, as they text it from their iPhone with a double frappuccino and like seven pumps of high fructose corn jism in their thing, while they get a puppuccino to feed to Fido, while they give them while they give them Imes from the grocery store, which is just full of like hot trash, and the dog is just like snoozing. It's like, you don't even know what capitalism even is. And they're all just anti-capitalism. The free market, people forget something. Capitalism came about because the capitalism created itself. The free market economy dictated when products and services went up and down, when businesses succeeded and fell, based on how people chose to spend their money with their own free will. If a corporation was to have an equal footing like every other corporation, and they were all to be competing equally, a company like, for example, one of these that we're on right now, if there wasn't as much regulation preventing other companies from raising money and ultimately starting these businesses because there wasn't so much red tape, there would be more competing. And it's taken this far. It's taken till they got their throat on your like their foot halfway up your dirt star before people realize that now we need things like Getter, we need things like Rumble, we need things like Parler, we need things like Gab and all of these other alternative sources, BitChute and the like. So all of the existence of all of these other platforms just taught all of the other platforms like, hey, maybe we got to pull back a little bit. Hey, maybe we can't go so extreme, which leads me into my next point, which is that people need to realize something as we get stuck in this like right, left paradigm, this stupid trap, this garbage factory that we all seem to find ourselves in, is that the United States of America is competing on the world stage. People tend to casually forget that we are in a competition with the other nations of the developed world, right? So we're over here worrying about who can cut off who's pen 15, who can cut off somebody's sandbags. They feel like a bag of sand. Don't at me, bro. Don't care. I know what they feel like. And they're going to try to tell us that this is what we need to pay attention to. We need to go down to the shows where these people are dancing, dressed up and caked up with makeup in front of the children, and they're going to teach us that that's the greatest problem. Meanwhile, literal China is eating our literal lunch, snacking on us and making outrageous advances. Now, look, their economy is not what our economy is. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to try to lie to you and say that it is, but people need to realize that we are very distracted and we are being depleted and rotting from the inside out and getting caught up in these internal battles while the other countries eat our shorts. And there is no more poignant example of this than TikTok. TikTok, whether you like it or not, is becoming the dominant world force in the game of social media. And the reason that TikTok is becoming a dominant world force in the game of social media is because so much resources have to be spent at companies like Facebook, Instagram, Meta, YouTube, and the like to comply with our bloated bureaucracy that's pretending like they're doing something to actually benefit you and me, the taxpayer, under the guise that they're fighting disinformation. They're fighting the disinformation, guys. Everybody line up for your mystery juice because they're fighting disinformation. because all of those resources are being spent on fact checkers, on content moderation, and all these other things, and it's not being spent on innovation. So all of that money that the free market would have otherwise routed for platforms like Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Meta, whatever, and even all the other ones, all of that technology, all of that manpower, all of those resources would have otherwise gone to developing a higher quality product. And you know what's happening over in Gine? They're not worried about that stuff because they control the algorithm. And now it is it is one of the most popular websites in the world and is quickly and rapidly becoming the most dominant social media platform. And before long, it will eclipse all of the progress that all of these other platforms are making, and all of that money that would have otherwise been kept here in the United States in the hands of well-meaning American-made companies and American businessmen and businesswomen and business theys and business thems and business these and theirs and twos and upside downs and ampersands and whatever is now being sent over there to a limitless thing where they can print their own money and create this mega conglomerate and then install their will upon the people of the rest of the world by simply changing a couple dials and knobs, changing a couple lines of code, and just being like, serve them girls flopping their bags around, as opposed to serving them some math, some technology, or some science. And the more you get stuck in the tick snap, the more you just realize that it's a trap. It's like there's so much of the, like, Gary Vee has talked about the TikTok phenomenon, and he talks about how it uses this thing called the interest graph. And the interest graph is basically different than how every other social media account is created, which is using like a subscription graph or a connection graph. On Facebook, YouTube, on Instagram, and on every other social media platform, Twitter, etc., you follow accounts, and it suggests that you follow other people that you might like, and then it serves you information from those accounts. It's based on your subscription, who you follow, and who you indicate to the platform or to the algorithm that you like or that you prefer. Whereas on TikTok, you could follow 0 accounts, you could follow absolutely nobody, you could be subscribed to nobody, and it will react based on your interests. If you're watching girls flop their bags around, it'll show you bags. If you're watching food videos, it'll show you more food videos, and then it will react based on how you view that content. If you watch 30 seconds of bags and you only watch 5 seconds of a cooking show or something, it's going to remember that and try not to show you as many of those pieces of content, which is why it's dominating, which is why it's eating every other platform's lunch, because it's interest-based and not subscription and or follower-based. So as a result, it introduces a lot of sorry, somebody just requested me on live on TikTok. I didn't even know you could do that. So as a result, it becomes a place that introduces you to new creators. It allows people to blow up their accounts very quickly. And as a result of that, it becomes a lot more addicting, because if you see the same thing, even though it's from people that you may want to see, you're not being introduced to new, fresh, exciting things. You're not following people as frequently. I follow new accounts on TikTok at a much higher frequency than I follow new accounts on other platforms. As a result, that's why you're able to grow your following so fast on TikTok as opposed to in other places. Now, first of all, before we continue to go on anymore, do me a favor, if you could. Tell me how you feel right now. Go in the comments. Somebody drop me some comments. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. I see you in the comments. I don't know, Getter and Rumble. I don't know if I can see those comments in here. TikTok, throw me a couple of likes if you like what's going on. Tap the tap a couple of hearts, twist my bag, send me a dove or something in TikTok. I don't even know what that means. Send me a dove, or send me a star, or put sunglasses on me or something. Send me some comments. Hit the heart emoji. Let me know if you're liking what's going on so far, and drop some comments here in the thing. Somebody's in the comments says, let's stop paying taxes. Not a good solution, Nolan. That's not going to work. It's not going to do anything. What you need to focus on is making movements in your immediate social circle. People ask me all the time, how do I change things? How do I make a contribution? The way you do it is you be a distributor of the truth. You follow along with what's going on. You change the conversation. You make it cool. You make it cool to pay attention to the things that actually matter in this world. You call out the politicians and all the supposed leaders that are doing the things that you believe to be wrong, that you don't like, that aren't shaping the world in the way that you want to see it. And that's how we change the world. And more importantly than that, the most important lesson of all, the most important thing that your average everyday person can do is, number one, decide to be great. That's it. It's as simple as that. Decide to be great. Decide to eat better. Decide to exercise more. Decide to work harder. Decide to do 2 a days instead of 1 a days. Walk the extra foot. Walk the extra mile. Read the extra book. Buy the extra audiobook. And change the way that you move through your life, and focus on improving your day-to-day, improving the people that you keep in your social circle, and taking a step up and challenging yourself to new things at all times. About a month and a half ago, I was sitting here thinking to myself, how do I take a step up? It's the way that I've thought my entire life, and whatever success that I have so far, it has been the most crucial thing to that success, is that I am never comfortable. I always have an unquenchable thirst for more. I want to see how much further I can go, how much more I can push, how much more I can put out, how many more people I could reach, how much better I could do. So a month ago, this is how all things start, with intention. It starts with intention. You say, hey, number one, I'm stagnating. I'm doing the same old thing. I'm expecting different results. That's insanity. So how do I get better? How do I do something that's going to be different? How do I take a step up? How do I challenge myself to do something that I otherwise wouldn't have anticipated that I would either be able to do at this point, or would be willing to risk everything in order to make it happen? Be willing to fall flat on your face in front of every other person, knowing that there is no plan B and you're going to execute it on it anyways. For me, what I realized is that I need to up this quality. And as a result, instead of taking $7,000 or $8,000 and buying a jet ski, instead of buying a new scooter, instead of remodeling my bathroom, instead of making other upgrades to my house or whatever, taking a long trip, I decided to take that $8,000 and invest it in this. I got a dedicated iPhone that I paid $600 for. That's literally just sitting here to stream on TikTok. It's sitting on a steel $60 mount that's sitting right back here. I had to do that. That was $700 just so that I could stream live on TikTok simultaneously while I also stream on Instagram. But 1 month ago, this was just a thought. This was just a dream. This was just something when I was walking with my vest, sitting there thinking, how do I get ahead? How do I take the next step up? Now, fast forward. 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, $8,000 later, you got all of these multiple streams going. You have so many more people that I'm able to reach. The quality is so much better. Hopefully you'll be more coerced to share the show, talk about the show, listen to it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and who knows how much further it can go. And if I believe my own doctrine, which is that the distributor of the truth is the modern information warrior is a person that distributes the truth and plays their part at doing the thing that they're the most skilled at, then we can change the world and fix the world. So I'm going to do the best that I can to get better at everything that I'm doing, because I know that you see me. And as a result of that, you can see I got a new title graphic that was playing at the beginning, the song playing. I got the graphic over here in the corner on YouTube. I got this cool little background and nice lighting on all of these platforms. I got top shelf audio. And as a result, who knows what will happen? And the next person that comes across the account will be like, whoa, that's high. That's the same type of video quality that I see on TV. Who is this person? If you can attract an extra 3%, 5% of people to take that extra click that extra time, whatever, who knows how much further the message can go. And that is just the lesson of all this. Is like, I hope that you're taking cues from what I'm doing. I hope that you don't just come here to have me talk about sticking one in your brown eye and bending over while Joey sniffs the palm, 10% to the palm dealer, is literally plunging the world into a literal garbage factory. I hope that you can get a little bit of inspiration and take a little bit of notes and lessons on how you can improve your operation, maybe get inspired a little bit, maybe get your energy up, and hopefully join in the digital fight, because I don't think that this war is ultimately won by people marching down the streets. I don't think that it's won by standing on the corner and protesting. I don't think it's won by taking up arms, and I don't think that it's won by force. I think it's won by the individual actions of every individual person. I think it's won by rugged individualism. I think it's won by being mentally sharp, physically sharp, by being good on the inside and exerting as much messaging as possible to convince people to to participate in the cause of liberty, in the cause of freedom, and in the cause of saving the world. Because whether people want to realize it or not, there is only one country left in the world. And I know some people will be like, shut your hole, you stupid Yank. And all the Jabron Jameses on TikTok that were from Australia and a bunch of other Jabrons, they get triggered when they hear this. But it's the reality of it. Without the ability to keep and bear arms, also known as the ability to protect yourself, guns and rights are women's rights, remember that. And without the ability to speak truth and dissent to authority, you have no country. There is no country. So the United States of America is the last bastion of hope in the entire world. If America falls, if America loses its right to free speech, if America has its military eroded from the inside out, if we convince everybody that the most pressing issue of the time is the color of your skin or cutting off your Pen 15 or whatever else, if we keep pumping all of our youth and all of our, and forget even the youth, for all of our people, all of our citizens full of high octane pharmaceutical drugs, getting them to be lulled through their life and lulled into submission for the remainder of their life while they're just eating pill after pill and fast food after fast food and garbage after garbage. It's garbage in, garbage out. It's like what we are witnessing, in my opinion, is the decline of an empire. We're watching what happens when you rot a nation, from the inside out. And what should be the most concerning and also the most obvious issue at hand should be the fact that they're coming for the youth. To me, it's the most puzzling and obvious thing that exists out there is that they're coming for the youth. And because we have a world and a nation full of weak men and weak people in general that are subservient and willing to obey any dictate that is shoved down their throat into their brown star, twisted sideways and cranked into their lower intestine, that's why we're not protecting the most vulnerable. It's like if you go and you watch Joey 10% of the Palm Dealer, Joey Burisma on TV yelling about how you got to take away assault weapons of war, take away weapons of war, take them away. If you are a female, if you are a, let's say, female home alone or female home with children, if you are an elderly person, elderly woman, elderly man, elderly they, elderly them, if you are a person in a wheelchair and you live in, let's say, the mountains of Colorado, and 4 dudes break into the front door of your house, you're dead. That's it. You're dead. So it's like the risk of allowing people to have cars is that when a bunch of people are walking down the sidewalk, they can just plow through them. The risk of having scissors is that at any moment, somebody could take the scissors and pop you in the jugular. The risk of having crock pots for sale and, for example, basic chemicals that any person could purchase at any store, and the internet, is that people could make an explosive device at any time, anywhere in the world, and get it here or get it to a place where people gather. The risk of having knives in kitchens, the risk of having knives in grocery stores, the risk of groups of people with knives in grocery stores is that the world is not a safe place. It never will be. And we are living in the jungle from the beginning of time until now and until the end of it. You cannot protect every situation from every person, and simply banning it is not a solution. And what is so agitating about all this is that there are people that are so stupid that they think that somebody's political party or somebody's political ideology is enough to convince them that they don't care about children in schools being victimized by some psychopath. That they're actually dumb enough to believe that just because somebody voted for Donald J or whatever, that they would be so heartless and savage that they wouldn't care that a bunch of kids just had that happen to them in Texas. And they're like, yeah, the Republican. It's like, you're clueless. And what we are witnessing is an entire planet of highly disconnected and clueless people that don't understand the basic reality of life. And they don't understand any history that has happened in this world. Thanks for the sunglasses on TikTok, Blake. Don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, but I just got some sunglasses on. People don't know what the world is, and they need to do more research. So it's like, if I could give you just one message, it would be to do more research. The fact that we have the internet, the fact that we have all of this information at our fingertips, the fact that you can watch me in 7 different places right now, and not only just that you're choosing to do it, should show you that turning this around is accessible. And the ability for us to fix all of this is certainly possible. We need to convince the people that don't do the research, the people that are not as tuned in as you and I, who are not as tuned in as you, the person that's watching this stream right now or watching this video or listening to this audio. Those are the people that need to be converted. Those are the people that need to be informed. And it's so sad to me that you have people that are on the supposed left side of the aisle or whatever garbage, whatever illusion that people want to believe that we're in right now, that are actually out there shilling for the establishment. They're like, yeah, Joe just passed the Inflation Reduction Act, and Joe just did biggest climate goo. And it's like, Solyndra, guy, we have squandered hundreds of millions, billions of dollars on these green energy, boondoggle, malarkey, garbage programs that have done absolutely nothing to save the supposed planet. And people are so stupid and so 10% beneath the surface that they can't see the forest for the trees. They can't see the iceberg that's under the surface. They don't even understand that somehow taxing the rich is not going to save the planet. You fudging idiot. Like, you're low IQ, and it makes me so sad because I follow people online that I consider to be great people, nice people, friendly people, people that I love, people that I care about, that'll be like, tax the rich. And like, these are the exact same people that post about how much anxiety that they have, how stressed out they are, how they hate their job, how they don't make enough money. They're big victim on life. I don't see very many successful people being like, yeah, pushing for all this ideology, pushing for all this. Let's get everything for free. It's always the broke people. It's always the sad people. It's always the people that have anxiety, that are laced up on pills, that have no self-sufficiency, that blame everything on everybody else. It's always them. Why? I had a friend a long time ago, many years ago, say to me, How do we make money being a creative? It's so hard out here. We're trying to drop our new album and we're trying to put out our new song, and it's just so hard to be creative out here. And I'm like, no, it isn't. Your music sucks. That's why. It's because your music sucks. It's because you think that because you created it and you put it out there that people are supposed to gobble it up and you're supposed to get rich from it. Your music sucks. You're not working hard enough. You're not paying attention to the market. You're not fulfilling a market need. It's about you. It's not about them. It's about you. It's not about them. That's what everybody gets wrong. One of the greatest lessons I ever learned about business is that the only thing that matters is the value prop to the consumer. The only thing that matters is the value that you get from this, not the value that I get. The more value I create for you, the more value is created for me. It's the opposite of what everybody always thinks. people don't work hard enough, people don't try hard enough, and people don't realize that you need to output a stupid amount of value all the time. And the hard work, the good stuff, the real meat of it comes from ridiculous, like outrageous amounts of output and learning 9,000 ways to do it wrong. A lot of people don't know this about my channel, and all I can give you is lessons that I've learned myself. But when I first started this channel, I only had one objective. The objective was, how do I not let the music die on my lips? I turned 32 and I was like, if I die and I don't show the world or put something out in the world that shows that I'm funny or have some fun with this, I'm going to regret it. If I die and I just get purged into nothingness and all people have is some photos and a couple of memories of me, that's going to be a real squanderance of all the gifts that the universe, God, my parents, whatever, gave me. I'm just going to let it go. I'm going to let it die. So I started making videos. I made probably, no joke, 650 videos over the course of 14 months that didn't get more than 200 views. But I wasn't worried about myself. I was only worried about the value prop to the consumer. All I cared about was doing something that I thought was fun that the other person would enjoy. Then one day, I put out just the right video at just the right time, the day after the DNC, that was about something that I cared a lot about, that was purpose-driven, that I wanted to see that I wanted to exert some altruism out into the world. I wanted to put some good out there. And I was like, yo, is everybody seeing this? How can you not laugh at this? This is dumb. Billy the Diddler just said Donnie Ballpark doesn't have the temperament to be the president. You got throat from a subordinate in the in the Oval Office, you psycho. Like, sit this one out, you literal demon. So I don't know. It's like, shut your hole, Wang Chung. I'm gonna listen to Ocrazio. I'm gonna listen to Alexandria Ocrazio make me a Moscow Mule. I'm gonna listen to her lecture me about how finances work. Shut the front door. You're a clown shoe. You're the shoe of a literal clown. Like, hit the literal bricks, Ocrazio. I'm not into that. And as a result, that video got 60,000 views overnight. No, I woke up the next morning and I'll never forget, this guy messaged me and was like, yo, you got reshared by Barstool. And I was like, get the so I went on Barstool, no link, texted him back. And it was like a hot H-bomb hit. I imagine. I don't know. I don't live in San Francisco. It was like an H-bomb hit when I woke up in the morning. And then I looked, there was nothing on Barstool. And I was like, all right. He's like, oh, my bad, bro. And I was like, sick. But then I went to my page and the video had 60,000 views. And I had 5,000 followers. And I was like, oh, snap, Larry. And I thought to myself, could I do it again? Could I make another video and do it again? So I let the day go and I was accumulating followers and I was nervous. I was like, what if I make a second one and it flops? So I really thought about it all day. It was a Saturday. I walked around the block, walked the dog, thought about it hard, sat down on the couch and just knocked it out. 55,000 views on that video, another 2,000 followers. And then I was like, I got to do a video every day until the election and I got to see what happens. As a result, I worked every single day and put out a 5-minute video every single day. Quit doing my full-time gig of building websites, which I had done for 13 years, which was my bread and butter for my entire adult life, that created everything around me and all of my opportunities, my car, my house, and everything else. And I started making videos. And as a result, now 250,000 followers later, all these platforms, tens of thousands of dollars of investment, all this time. And here I'm able to reach you. That's how it happens. It doesn't happen because you just did it. It happens because you put the work in. It happens because I made a decision a month ago to invest all this money and all this time and take a risk and say, I'm going to buy this studio and I'm going to do the same live stream that I've been doing for 2 years. And I'm going to see what happens. And as a result, there's 500 people something watching at once, and who knows how many people will watch this stream tomorrow, and who knows how many people will listen to the audio, who knows how many people will leave it a 5-star review on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, who knows how many people will go on bobbysauce.com and buy some merch, or will buy a badge here in the chat, or will go on YouTube and send a follow or whatever else. And just like that, the message keeps going. It's like, all right, here's what we're pushing out: freedom, rugged individualism, love of country, love of family, love of freedom, being mentally strong, physically strong, executing on the tasks that you set before yourself in life, being a good person, outputting truth, knowledge, and information, convincing people to change the conversation so that we can make the world a better place, outputting positivity, not just positivity, but a little bit of humor, a little bit of entertainment to make a digestible nugget of an otherwise dark and ominous circumstance of events. Because whether people like it or not, the dark forces are coming for us, and they're coming for us hard and fast. They're coming for the kids. They're coming for your freedom. They're coming for your self-protection devices. They're coming from your ability to speak. And I don't care where you are in the world. I would wager that anybody could challenge me. The United States of America is the last and only hope of freedom remaining for humanity in the history of time. If the United States falls at this time, I do not believe there's any turning back from it. So how do you win that war? What do you do? What is the thing that's going to change the world to make it a better place? How are we going to do it? The only way that I can figure out is to be a distributor of the truth. That's it. There is no other way. To be the best that you can possibly be in your own life, in your own social circle, and constantly being on the up tier, leveling up, moving up, increasing the quality of the people that you keep around you in your social circle and your immediate circle, and living a better and more fulfilling life and trying hard all the time and continuing to distribute those things as much as humanly possible. I don't know what else there is to do, because I certainly don't think that standing on the street corner and yelling, or going and yelling on TV or whatever else, is the solution. The solution is that there's a large cohort of people, the vast majority of people, that fall into the following buckets: don't care at all, and are willing to just bend over and take a pop in the balloon knot. 2, kind of care, but don't care enough to spend the time, or can't spend the time, or won't spend the time. And 3, spend the time, but get the wrong information, that don't understand the full totality of the story, that see what they see on the headlines, they see what they see on TV, they see what a couple of their most woke idiot friends will post, and they're like, that must be true. I trust Bill or whatever. And they fall into the trap. And I think that the war is ultimately won by convincing people that fall in those 3 buckets to understand the truth. And I think that if you can change people to, instead of watching Real Housewives or watching The Masked Singer or watch whatever other shit, if you convince them to watch a live stream like this, watch a video like this, to read a book about history or getting better in life, then I think that we can turn it around. Because if you look at the things that the WEF are doing, thank you, Minix, for the super chat on YouTube. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. If you look at what these people are doing, they want you eating bugs. They want you eating bugs. It's really unfortunate. So again, it's like I get the most commonly asked people. I see people on TikTok that are like, he's not reading the comments. I'm reading the comments. I got 5 things open right now. I'm doing my monologue part, and then I will address the comments. So anybody that has questions, stay in the comments. Stay here. I'm going to rip for a little bit. I've been going for 45 minutes. If you're new here, what I usually do is I rip for about an hour, and then I talk to people in the comments. I read the comments, and I engage in the comments. So don't get too upset. Throw me a dove on TikTok. I'm new on the TikTok live stream. Don't twist my bag. Sorry for not caving to your. Sorry for not answering your comment, Larry. Okay. So again, people also ask me things often, and not even just me, ask other creators. They're like, how do you deal with the negative comments? How do you deal with what I can tell you with absolute certainty is that the vast majority of feedback that I've gotten as a result of putting out this level of content, putting out this degree of content, putting out this type of stuff has been overwhelmingly good. And even though you got a couple people that are very upset, that are very angry, that are very sad inside, that disagree with me for whatever reason, they can't figure out how to click the X. They can't figure out because they're so wrapped up in their understanding. If you were to look at anything that I've done, all of the comments, I engage with people that want to have a civil discourse. I put out content all the time. I got thousands of videos. You can disagree with me. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's like if you're not outputting something that lets me see your point of view, I'm not going to go toe to toe with you in the comments on some TikTok video when you try to slang me and slang all these other people. It's like you're sad inside. If you believe what you're going to believe, output something. Like quit chirping me in the comments and going back to your miserable life and job that you hate. Why don't you do something about it instead of chirping me? Why don't you change the minds of other people like I'm trying to do? The person's name is not Larry. Just see people comment. They're like, get him. They're like, get Larry. His name is not Larry. I don't even know if it's a he or a she. It doesn't even matter. I just said Larry because that's a thing that I say. So people are like, Larry, no. Okay. So again, we are in a trap. A lot of the information that we're seeing and the information that we're getting is tainted and is literally hot garbage. And the biggest problem, the problem of all, the only solution, as I will say repeatedly ad nauseum for the rest of my days, is that bloated government structure is the root and source of all of our problems. If the government did not have so much overbearing power, the federal government specifically, not local government, I'm not anti-government. Excuse me. I gotta not drink kombucha. Got too many bubbles. The problem is that they have so much money, and it makes me so sad that people are so clueless that they don't understand that taxing your fellow citizens more and giving more money to these people that have squandered it needlessly for the better part of the last forever is not a solution. It's not going to solve any climate related problems. It's not going to solve your college loan problems because when the government gets its dirty, filthy little paws in all of these programs, it removes the incentive for businesses to be great because it becomes more valuable for you to lobby the people that control the laws than it is for you to actually create a quality product. Think about think about how much money is spent lobbying in Washington D.C. in a given year. Think about how much money is spent there. You're talking like billions and billions and billions of dollars, right? That money that's being spent over there is not productive cash. That money is being dumped and squandered, much like the people on Wall Street. People on Wall Street don't output any value. They're not producing a widget. They're not solving a problem. They're not doing a product or service. They're just moving numbers around. They're not outputting. They're not outputting value. The same thing goes for DC and all of these people that are lobbying. They're squandering all this money to try to curry favor so that the government can affect the rules and regulations that will allow them to prosper more. It eliminates capitalism. It eliminates the free market. It eliminates the very equalizer that would save us from most problems. If you let the government, if you let the market do the market's thing, if you let businesses do the business's thing, if you removed the red tape, if you removed all the squandering of cash, we would live in a very free, very prosperous, very successful world. And the amount of people, and like what bothers me the most about all this is you got people like Joey Parm, Joey 10% to the big guy, Joey Bobolensk, acting like you don't have a heart or a soul because you don't want to ban people's ability to have a self-protection device. You don't have a heart somehow when there are hundreds of thousands of people in the United States alone and even more around the world that are dying from preventable diseases, from overdoses, opioid overdoses, heroin overdoses, fentanyl overdoses, and all of these other ailments that could be resolved. The homeless problem could be resolved. But people don't understand that the policies, that the policies and laws that the bureaucracy, that the bureaucrats put into place cause far more harm than the very small things that they want you to pay attention to. It's like tripping over dollars to pick up pennies. And what happened in New York this week is yet another perfect example of this. Looks like my connection is slowing down on YouTube and Facebook. I hope it still looks okay, but whatever, we're going to keep it going. What happened in New York is a perfect example of this. When New York City bans whipped cream canisters, they get to say, look, let's do a press release. Let's do a press conference. Mayor Adams, so cool. Eric is so cool. Eric is just cool as heck. Eric is so swagged out. So cool. Eric's so good. So cool. He can have his press conference and be like, nobody under 21 can buy a can of whipped cream. You could buy a 12-pack of CO2 cartridges and a $10 Whippet container on Amazon and have it delivered by 4 a.m. the next day anywhere in New York City, no problem. They're just taking it away from the local business owner, from the bodega owner. they're just not going to stop anybody from doing anything. You could ask the guy in front of the store, like, yo, you go buy me a can of whipped cream? Yeah, sure, no problem. You know how many CO2 canisters you could buy in a clip? You would buy a garbage bag full of those things. They're not even expensive. So it's just a perfect example of the bureaucracy pretending to do something to save people when less than 100 people have died from nitrous poisoning in the last 20 years. Less than 100 people. Yet probably 100 people a day die of heroin overdose. But there's a free heroin shoot up site right there in Manhattan. No problem. Right next to somebody's apartment that they pay $5,000 a month for a 2-1. They're paying 5 clams. There's a homeless guy on the street ODing. There's a shoot up clinic right there. There's a bumblebee tuna living in a freaking tent in the street, stabbing you in the throat, in the jugular, carrying an illicit weapon that they brought from New Jersey. And they're just like, yeah, we take away the whipped cream. Take the whipped cream. And people are like, sick. You're dumb. Sorry, you're dumb. You are dumb. Don't want to tell you that, but you're dumb. You're low IQ. Sorry. Hate to break it to you, but you're dumb. Because you're tripping over dollars to pick up pennies. These are non-solutions. Can you imagine how much effort was expended on the banning of these whipped cream canisters? You know how many people had to probably touch that legislation to do that? They had to write it. They had to propose it. They had to get it passed. They had to do the press conference. They bing, ding, ding, bang, all that. All that stuff that had to go in for fucking nothing to happen. Nothing. For nobody to be saved. For nothing to be different. All you're doing is creating a black market. Any kid that lives in New Jersey or Connecticut or anywhere else would be like, dude, first thing I'm going to do is buy 1,000 canisters and drive them in my Toyota Camry to my boy that lives in Lower Manhattan or whatever, or lives in Staten Island, and they're going to sell them. They're going to sell them right alongside the bud that they sell, or the Zans or the Zanny bars or whatever else. They're going to be like, yep, case of Whippets. Instead of it being $10, it's $30 now. They're going to do the same shit. And these liars are going to act like something's going to change. Meanwhile, there's people doing H-bomb in a building while a person watches from behind a freaking curtain. It's stupid. It's anarchy. And it's so dumb. It's so dumb. But that'll be a campaign issue. That'll be a campaign thing. Look what I did. I saved all the 21-year-olds. They don't do anything. We could be prospering so much in this world if we simply didn't send tens of billions of dollars over to Zelensky and the corrupt people that run the crane. Think about what that money could have been used for. You don't have money for the wall. You don't have money for the VA. You don't have money for the vets. You don't have money for the Bumbles. You don't have money for the businesses. You got money for Jay-Z. And look, don't get me wrong. Like the Republican people that got those bailouts, yeah, totally fair and reasonable point. Two things can be true at the same time. So it's like, I hope that people can understand that myself and so many other people are not just right-wing shills or just right-wing extremists or whatever else, or Donnie shills or whatever. We just understand that for the most part, Donnie, as the representative and or whomever represents this side of the viewpoint, this ideology, generally speaking, this team, have been far and away better and less bad than all of the people that represent the supposed left, the liberal, whatever side, the progressive liberal side of things. You don't have to be a Donnie shill. And I don't think everybody on the left is a Biden shill. I think Biden is insane, and I think it's outrageous that people actually think this dude's doing anything of value. And I find it so puzzling how people will cheer and be like, it's Dark Biden. He's got laser beam eyes. It's like, this dude can't even figure out where to stand without Dr. Jilly rearranging him in front of these people. It's like, this dude is an embarrassment. And like, don't get me wrong, Donnie Ballgame, very embarrassing. I'll be the first person. I'll be not the first. I'll be the 80 millionth person to say it. Yeah. The person in the highest office in the land probably shouldn't be saying anything about Megyn Kelly on live TV. Probably shouldn't be insulting Rosie O'Donnell. Probably shouldn't be doing any of that. Yeah, we all agree with that. You can understand that generally speaking, the right side of the aisle is right 9 times out of 10, and still full of a lot of losers like Lindsey Graham Cracker and Dan Crenshaw and Susan Collins and all these other jabrones that flew over to the crane to hand all of our money to Zelensky and make sure he got it all right. They're like, yeah, cool. What the fudge brownie is a senator from Maine doing in the Ukraine? Shut up, old bag, and retire. You suck. You don't represent me. You suck. You suck. Get out. You're old and you're done. And we're sick of your garbage. And people like myself and so many of you guys are going to do the same thing, where you're going to get out and you're going to start talking about it. You're going to start being about it. You're going to start running for these local elections. You're going to start talking more. You're going to change the conversation with the people that you know and love. You're going to share videos like this. You're going to share podcasts like this. You're going to share audio like this. You're going to share accounts like this and all the other ones and all the other people that are doing so much better work than the Damons that are in the controlled corporate media that are getting paid by Big Pharma to sell their commercials. And Fox and every other news outlet, I trust no one. You can generally believe that the work that Fox does is better than most other outlets. You can believe that the work that OAN or Newsmax or whatever else is good and good for the society. You can believe that what RSBN does and what all these other creators do is right most of the time. You can believe that what Daily Wire does is right most of the time. You can believe that all of these different people that are outputting all this value, like Crowder, like Ben Shapiro, like Anomaly, like everybody else in between, like Officer Tatum and the rest, are all doing the greatest work, the work that we need. You can agree with all those things and also be okay with those people selling T-shirts and selling merchandise and going to events and getting speaking fees and continuing to push and propel their message. You can be okay with that and still know that the bureaucracy is garbage, that bloated government spending is the reason that we have all these problems. You can know that Hunter Hide the Kid sniffs the parm. What did you do with your niece, you psycho? Is a bad person. You can still follow outlets like the Gateway Pundit and Breitbart and Zero Hedge, even though they make a mistake time and time again. That they write an article that's wrong, that they could talk about the ghost of Kiev or whatever the hell else, and they can make mistakes. You can know all these things simultaneously and still be fighting the theoretical power. You can still come back to the original message, which is the message of all messages, which is the only message that matters, which is bloated, overbearing, overpowering federal government is the reason why the world is bad in so many places in this planet. And it is why so many things are bad around the world and are in the United States of America right now. And even though it's bad, I'm an eternal optimist. I think we win in the end. I think the good guy wins in the end. I think there's more of us than there are of them. I think good rises over evil. I think there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I think that well-meaning people like you, patriotic Americans and citizens of all parts of the planet, will speak about it, talk about it, be about it, finance it, share it, post it, talk about it, change the conversation, get better in your own life, get stronger, get smarter, get faster, execute at a higher level, challenge yourself to be better, and we'll broadcast that and change the people in your social circle so that you can propel this message forward and the world changes. I do believe that that happens. I believe we win in the end, and I'm an optimist. I don't care who's in the Oval Office at what time, because I understand that the real people that run the world are the shadowy corporations and dark money and the shadowy banking elite families that run the planet. Those are the people that are in control. It's not the corporations. It's not the American politicians. Those are temporary figureheads installed to make us think that we have the illusion of choice. The people that are not elected, the people that you don't know about, the people that have the real money, the people that control the banking, the people that control the credit, the people that control the money flows around the entire planet, the people that finance both sides of the war, those are the people that we're up against. We're not against Donnie. We're not against Joe. We're not against any of that. We're against China, and we're against the shadowy banking elite that runs the entire planet. That's it. And their plan has been in place for hundreds, if not thousands of years. And if you're going to be stupid enough to think that a single human person in a single lifetime can become the richest man or richest woman in the world, if you think that Kylie Jenner or whoever else is one of the richest people that lives on this planet, you're clueless, dog, and you need to do some more research. Because there was a sultan in a palace 500 years ago. And I can guarantee you that that dude had a bloodline. And that bloodline went boop, 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 boop. And they're still alive today. You just don't know about them. That's the whole point. What are you going to hide in plain sight? What are you going to put your castle at the top of the hill with a big tall fence and let everybody know here's where the rich person lives? Nope. You're going to install some figurehead jabron that gets cycled in and out that is purely dictated by how much money flows in and out of their campaign and at what time. You're going to use the media that you bought and paid for and own in every country in the world simultaneously because you own all the books, the TV stations, the movie production houses. You own all of the distribution points. You own all the movie theaters. You own the radio stations. You own the social media companies, and you own every intermediary in between. You own the fact checkers. You own all those things. Every magazine, every book, every newspaper. You own them all. You control the narrative. You control people, what people think. You control what people hear. You control the apps that are in the App Store or the apps that are in the Google Play Store. You can control the operating system that's on the device that is the single most important piece of distribution or free thought that's ever existed in the history of humankind. You understand that the message can now be broadcast faster around the world in real time than at any point in human history. You understand that the cell phone, the cellular telephone, is the most powerful, most advanced, most sophisticated, most world-changing piece of technology that has ever existed in the history of human existence. And you also understand that the key to you being able to mold and shape the world into a world that you are in control of and your family is in control of until the end of time depends on two things. One, you control the money. And two, you control the thoughts. That's it. That's the game. If you can control where money flows, and if you can control the information that people are allowed to see and allowed to say and allowed to distribute, you run the world forever. What is the greatest threat to your game? The greatest threat is freedom, self-sufficiency, independence, local government, harder to control, smaller government, less centralized bureaucratic control, good local police officers, a strong local military, nationalism, a nuclear family, a mother and father that love each other, that love their children, people creating offspring that they teach the right things at the right time, generational wealth and savings, the ability to own and pass down property, and probably most important of all, the ability to be seen doing this, the ability to distribute this message is your greatest threat. So Hello? So many of the people of the world have been bought and paid for. So many people have a price. And as a result, otherwise well meaning and good people that could really contribute to the cause get silenced for money. They say, I got to take care of mine. I got to take care of my kids. I got to eat. My family's got to eat. I want my kid to go to college. I want to pay off my house. I'm going to look the other way. I'm going to take the buyout. And when you are in control of the money and you have an endless tap of it, the key to your success in the long term is your ability to identify those people, identify those weak points, and exploit them with the very resource that you have an unlimited supply of. And if you can do that successfully and find weak people that can be easily exploited, your reign of power will continue indefinitely. And the only threat to it is people that know it and understand it, that can see past it. People that are independently wealthy, people that are independently healthy, people that are self sufficient, people that have a good support group, people that have the ability to defend and protect themselves, and people that are armed with truth and knowledge. And if those people were to gain any degree of control, your reign of terror would cease to exist. So I just hope that people can look past the illusion and start to realize that this is the only way out. Lindsey Graham Cracker ain't going to do it. Donnie Ballgame is not going to do it. There is no solution to this problem other than yourself. You are the only solution. You are the end game. You are the hero in this story. Every individual person. That means you listening. That's it. It's like I can't be more clear about the severity of it either. It's like the more that you get in tune with the reality of the world, the more that you start to understand what's really going on, the more you realize that it all is only here. This is it. It's like what you control that happens in here is the key to the world's resolution. Is the world being a better place. But we have so many people that are not right here, and as a result, everything fails. There's a brilliant statement that I heard one time from a successful guy, which has probably been passed down. I've said it a bunch of times, where it's like, you don't worry about how much money you make in a year. You don't worry about how much money you make in a quarter. You don't worry about how much money you make in a month. You don't even worry about the week. You worry about the day. You figure out how to make more money today than you made yesterday. And as a result, the week, the month, the quarter, and the year solve themselves on their own because you're focused on the day. So the day in this equation, the day in this metaphor, whatever it is how you are improving your operation by day. What are you doing day to day to be stronger, smarter, faster, more a better steward of the truth, a better steward of American values, a better steward of what is necessary in order for the world to be a better place? Because if everybody thought like that, if everybody understood this very simple fact that every great person that ever existed in the history of mankind was an everyday, average, regular Joe that decided to be great. They just said, you know what? If not me, then who? If not now, then when? What am I going to do? Every great person that we look up to with great reverence started with basically nothing. No respect, oftentimes no money, no success, no nothing. And they all made it to a point where we remember, speak their name, and honor their existence thousands, hundreds, decades later. The question is, Will you do that as well? Will you be one of those people that will do that? Because it's not a me thing. I can't do it. Donnie can't do it. No one can do it individually. It's all of us. Now, with that being said, that was an hour and 12 minutes. Now, thank you guys for being here. I want to take some questions. I want to start reacting to the comments and whatnot. So I will start responding to some comments and I'll read all of the chats and whatnot. I just had to get that out. I've been thinking about it for a long time. So if you have some comments, so first let me remind you, if you're on TikTok, I don't know where the thing is on TikTok to follow me, but if you don't already follow me, please consider following me. I don't even know where it is. Maybe pop a couple of likes on the thing or send me a sunglass or whatever. If you're on Instagram, click this arrow right here on Instagram. Make sure that you follow me. If you don't already follow me, please make sure that you do that. If you are on Instagram and you bought a badge, thank you so much for buying the badges. I really appreciate that. If you're on YouTube or Twitch or whatever else and you bought a badge or made a donation or whatever of any kind, thank you so much for that. I have so many different devices and things going right now that I don't want to jeopardize any of them by pulling them up. So if you've made a donation of any kind or however contributed in any way, thank you so much in advance for that. As I got hung up in my thing, I forgot to put my thing here on the TikTok, or on Instagram. So let me pin that for a second with the website. So let's take some comments. Somebody on TikTok who's hurting inside said, keep being the puppet that Trump wants you to be. Cool, man. Who hurt you? Show me on the doll where Donnie touched you, because he's living rent free in your dome piece. What's left of it? What up, Crispy? What happens when freedom of speech in this type of interaction ends? Well, that's like saying what happens if a meteor hits the world. You try to prevent that from happening. You try to do all of the things that I just talked about to try to make those things not happen. How do you guys like the setup? This is so cool. Watching the quality of the video on Instagram and YouTube, it's so awesome seeing this happen and hearing the voice in the headphones and the mic. It's just such a different thing. It seems so much more epic. And I just imagine somebody listening to it back, like on Spotify or something, or through their car, and it's just such an amazing thing that the world just allows us to do. I'm just so blown away by it. Where do we start to be great? Be healthier. I think that's the simplest thing. Like, go to the gym and walk more. That's the simplest thing. Just be healthier. That's like the number one. Thomas said, working hard on that carbon footprint. Not really sure what that means, but okay. An LED computer screen basically has absolutely no carbon output, but okay. But yeah. Facebook just got fuzzy. Yeah, the connection is, I don't even know what to do with that. Somebody said you did a great job in the studio. Thank you. Thank you, FNP Fit Girl, for the badge on Instagram. Really appreciate that. People are, looks like they're starting to follow on TikTok. I really appreciate that. I'm not really sure how the TikTok algorithm will adjust for the live streams, but this is my first long-term live on here. So giddy up. Thank you. Somebody says that the camera and the mic are fire on Facebook. Really appreciate that. The sound is so good. So the sound on Instagram is the same as it always was. But the audio on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and the rest are all kicked up a notch. And the audio on TikTok is new because it's a brand new phone. I walked 1.3 miles today and my legs are paralyzed. That's what's up. Read food labels. Yep, that's what's up. Somebody said, Bobby, did you see that Alex Jones called out Donnie for the juice? I did see that. And I think he's right. I think he's spot on. And I think what Jones said about Donnie is correct. It's like people need to understand that being pro Donnie when Donnie was hitting dinger after dinger is like, it's like Anomaly talks about it all the time, and I think what he puts out is such high quality stuff. And he's just like, look, I'm going to support you if you're winning every inning, but if you lose it in the ninth inning, then I don't need to stick around. I'm not obligated to follow along. So I think what Jones is doing is correct, and I think that the fact that ball game is being or at least allegedly being kind of pigheaded about it and saying it's good, I think it's bad. I think it's bad for the world. He says Donnie needs to admit he was duped. Yeah, that's the thing. Is it's like it's a bad look, and so many people are experiencing all of these adverse effects that all of us have been calling out forever. And I talked about I made a video about it today where it's like I was a B minus C plus maybe in biology. I almost failed chemistry in high school. That was the extent of my science career. And and like I'm a web developer. Like I don't know anything other than that the world is run by a bunch of shadowy banksters. But and I'm looking at it for a couple months and I'm just like, wait a second. And then you have people like Dr. Leanna Wen, who is like the most accredited doctor that exists in the history of time. If you look on this chick's Wikipedia page, it's like Harvard, Yale, upside down fellowship. She like owned the Planned Parenthood upside down. She's like this decorated person. Anybody that doesn't understand the truth. And this lady is out here saying that you shouldn't be able to leave your house, that you should be treated like you got a DUI if you don't get the juice, that you should be a second class citizen, you should be a serf, you should be a peasant. And it's like, all right, dude. And now she's coming out and saying that it affected your kid. That's what you get, Leanna Wen. That's what you get. Because people like me and so many other people saw the writing on the wall so clearly in advance. It's like you're going to take away somebody's face. You're going to take that away from children when they're in this outrageously progressive learning stage of their life. You're going to take away their ability to read lips and so much other stuff. It's like you're dark. So it's just sad that people just don't understand. They just don't understand. But her coming out now, I think she knew all along. I don't care. You went to Harvard Medical School and you're this highly accredited medical person, and you knew. You just sold your soul. You sold your soul to the darkness. And you wanted those CNN hits, and you wanted to be in control, and you wanted to be a good little girl. You want to be a good little boy and a good little girl and follow all the rules and push the diapers and get paid for it and go around acting like you're holier than thou. And as a result, now you went and you ruined your own kids' learning progress. That's what you get, Leanna Wen. Well done. You should be ashamed of yourself. Any idiot could have spotted that 100 miles away, and she didn't even care. She knew. They all knew, but they don't care. And what's going to be key? Somebody just donated $20 on Venmo. Thank you so much for the Venmo. Whoever sent that, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. These people knew, and they threw everybody under the bus. And you have these highly accredited medical people that are going to sit there and tell you that on a HEPA filtered freaking aircraft that's refreshing the oxygen every 2 minutes, that is the most filtered air, indoor air, like of any place in the planet, that you have to wear a piece of cotton. You have to wear a piece of cotton over your breathing holes, and you need to pull it back up in between bites. You're a demon. You're a demon from the underworld, and you're gonna be like, yeah, this is gonna work. Who hurt you? All I have to say is like, never forget what they did. Just never forget what they did. And people are lining up to vote for more of it, to beg for more of it, to beg for more control. If like if you listen to any word that comes out of Dr. Leanna Wen's mouth for the rest of her life, you're an idiot. Because it's like, here was your time to shine. Here was your moment. Here was the moment when you could have done something right for the world with all this knowledge that you have. Here's when you could have really saved the kids. But nope, you decided to sell it to the darkness. Shame on you. And a person like me that knows how to build a website, how to write a cascading style sheet with his eyes closed, I could figure out in a couple months, a couple weeks, a couple days, whatever, that a cloth diaper is not going to do anything. And then you're going to have all these people that are going to look at the numbers and be like, oh, like the seasonal flu just went from 80 million cases in 1 year to 8,000 the next year. And you're going to be so dumb that you're going to be like, yeah, it's because everybody was at home. Man. It's like, oh, is that how everybody got the clap? Is that how the clap went around? Because everybody was just at home. And it's like, oh, more people got zapped. More people got zapped into the sky, into the clouds after the juice than before the juice. Okay. It's like hello, is it Anybody here? Is anybody participating in is anybody here on the planet of Earth? I was just curious if anybody was here on the crust with the rest of us. Because like I'm on the crust and I see it. How do you not see it? You're dumb. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, don't mean to be offensive, like not trying to be insulting, but like whom hurt you? You know what I mean? Like, donde está your common sense? I'm just saying, like, literally donde, like literally donde. Open your ojos, open your literal ojos. It's not that complicated, but whatever. Put on a piece of cotton. Put your cotton on. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's put the cotton on. I'll put the cotton over. It will put the cotton over your mouth hole. Okay. And then you're on the plane and you're eating a freaking almond and you're just like, like breathing particles. The person's a half a centimeter to the right of you, and you're just like, oh man, particle. I'm just gonna eat it. It's like you're like, what is it's a charade. There's so many the people. This is another thing that's I find very funny. Yo, people on TikTok are hurting inside to a degree I've never seen. The amount of degeneracy and sadness that exists on TikTok is sad beyond words. It's like these people are so sad inside and so upset with their life that they'll come into the comments and just spew all this stuff. And their username is like user 57654, and it's a picture of like an upside down goose like riding a surfboard on its head or something. And they're just like, you piece of crap. It's like, who hurt you, as they say from their parents' basement with crusty almond joy crumbs on their shirt while they hate their life. It's like, you hate your life, you're hurting inside. Show me on the doll where Elon touched you. Like, literally, whom hurt you? Leave the chat. Hit the X. Not that hard. Like, who hurt you? People are so sad in the world. They're just like, I'm gonna be a grown man and go comment. It's like, what? They're not grown men. It's like a 13-year-old. It's like a 13-year-old who has to crank his pen 15 to make it through the day without crying. So so many sad people on TikTok. It's a weird place. TikTok. I've compared TikTok to like the back of the. It's like the dark alleyway behind the middle school. Like it's like not really scary, but there's just a lot of degenerates back there. Like one guy's got a yo-yo for some reason. He's just like, yeah. He's like, my mom didn't pick me up because she hates me. It's like, yeah. And you're just like, I parked my car back here, but whatever. Very sad, very sad. We have an epidemic of the knowledgeable and asleep. Yeah, that is a literal true statement. Yeah, I don't know. some people getting spicy on YouTube too. It doesn't even matter. I just think it's hilarious. It's like keep commenting. Oh man. Yeah. But anyhow, I see a couple of questions came in on Instagram here. Nate Dogg said, have you ever heard of the Dreamwear podcast by Anomaly? You two should talk. Yes. I've followed Anomaly for the better part of the last year. I've met him in person. We jammed a couple times. I have his number. Yeah, I would consider him to be a friend. I think he would say the same. And I most definitely listen to his podcast regularly. And I think he's on point. People are so sad in the TikTok comments. It's so sad. It's like really. Yeah, somebody said TikTok is the underside of the bleachers. Yeah, that's very true. The other thing, so what I'm trying to learn, somebody on TikTok, I promise not to wear a mask while doing your surgery. Okay, Billy Goat, like who hurt you, Billy Goat? Just leave. Yeah, don't wear a mask while you're doing my surgery. Oh no, I was about to go get my surgery from the guy with the username Billy Goat. What the hell are you talking about? Like, donde está? Donde está two loving family? You know? I don't know. Like, hit the X. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. Maybe leave. It just seems simple. So, anyways, I'm going to learn about. I have to learn the nuances of how to do the whole pod thing. I don't know why my connection has been unstable in and out on Facebook and YouTube. I don't know why that is. I don't know how to resolve that. I'm hoping that I can find a way to get around that. Like, connection is unstable. I don't even know what that means. So hopefully I can find a solution to that. Maybe because I'm streaming so much stuff, I have no idea. But I will hopefully be able to work on that. But I'm so like, this is an hour and a half pod, right? If somebody's going to listen to the audio only version, are they going to lose interest when I start taking comments? Is there still valuable information and after the comments start to be a thing when I'm reacting to people? That's what I don't know. So I'm hoping to learn the nuances of how to do this right later on. It might be to cut them and then do specific ones that are specifically for commentary or whatever. I don't know. I got to figure it out. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the full video of the pod. I'm going to put it on Spotify. I'm going to put it on YouTube, everywhere, the original raw version, including the comments. On Facebook and YouTube, you can see the comments in real time as they came through. I assume that there is no way to save a TikTok live, so I guess that will just be purged into existence, which is probably better because there's some goons in the comments just being real cool. Somebody said my connection on Instagram is getting bad. I don't even know. So I might need to upgrade my internet connection at my cable provider. I don't know. Somebody on Instagram just said Billy Goat is wearing a mask while Yes. Highly probabilidad. Kenny on YouTube said, tell me something meaningful and why I should follow it. I don't know, Kenny. I mean, I just went for an hour and a half talking about lots of meaningful stuff. I mean, this account is pretty meaningful. You should follow this account, I guess. I don't know. Laura on TikTok said, I love your stuff. San Antonio patriotic lady here. Thank you, Laura. Appreciate that. Papa W said, when can I catch your lives? I don't have like a set schedule yet, but I'm gonna try. I want to try podcast, whatever, live streaming during the day, and I'm interested to see what that will be like. I'm gonna try some at night, during the day, and I'd like to get a point where I fit some type of schedule. I think it would be cool to. I like the idea of the Tuesday night slot. So maybe what I'll do is I'll start getting the habit of doing like every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern or 9 p.m. Eastern or something like that, and I'll make Tuesday night like my jam, and then maybe the other nights will be filled in. But I'd like to get it to a point where I'm at like sort of an anomaly style schedule where I'm doing one every day or whatever, or one every couple of days, and putting out like at least four. I think at least four per week would be the goal. I think there's a lot of different information. Now, the other thing too, I used to make these like 5 to 7 minute Instagram videos, but I realized that the amount of time that it takes to put them together and to shoot them in these individual jump cuts is long. So I'd like to do more of those of me like falling down in the front yard. I'd like to incorporate more of those and not just do reels all the time. And I've also would like to do this long form live stream style content, especially now that I have all these devices. Like, I wish you guys could see in front of me because I've got 4 monitors behind me. I have 2 monitors in front of me. I have a cell phone right here doing Instagram, a cell phone right here doing TikTok, and then a camera right here in the middle that's doing all the rest. It's just really interesting. It's like the contraption and the lights and the mic, and it's just very, very cool. It's something that I never would have anticipated I would be lucky enough to be able to do. So I appreciate all you guys and gals and theys and thems and zims and zers and z's for being a part of it and for supporting the channel with your attention. And obviously for buying the merch and for sending the badges and the Venmos and the donations and the points on TikTok or whatever. I don't even know how those work. But thank you all so much. Please consider, if you wouldn't mind, I would really appreciate it if you wouldn't mind making sure that you follow me on YouTube, as well as follow the Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Please go and follow the podcast on all these platforms and see if you could please leave me a review on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts. Obviously, I'm a 0 podcast right now. This is episode 1. So it's going to be really crucial that we hit the ground running. And if you like what you hear, if you heard what you heard here, please consider sharing the channel and sharing the stream and liking it and sharing it on sharing the Spotify onto your page. You can find all of my links at followbobby.com. My main website is bobbysauce.com. BOBBYSAUCE, BobbySauce.com, or follow Bobby.com for all my links. My link tree is there. I put the link directly to the show and all of the podcast links on the BobbySauceShow.com or BobbySauceShow.com, either one, whichever you can remember. BobbySauceShow.com. That'll be the links to all the podcast stuff. If you're, like I said before, if you're not following me and you're on TikTok right now, please go and follow me on TikTok. I don't know where the thing is, but please consider following me. If you're on Instagram, please consider hitting the arrow and follow me on Instagram. If you're on YouTube or Twitch or Facebook or whatever, or Getter or Rumble, please consider following me on all of those accounts as well. I would really appreciate it so much. And like I said, please consider reviewing the podcast. If you liked it, you didn't like it, please consider leaving a comment or leaving a review. I know that those things are key and crucial for growing the account. If you don't already follow me on Rumble, rumble.com/take naps is where you can find me there. And I'm on all the things. I'm on Truth Social at Take Naps. I'm on Twitch at Bobby Sausalito, Facebook, YouTube at Bobby Sausalito. I'm on Getter at Take Naps, on Rumble at Take Naps, and on TikTok as Take Naps with 2 S's because some Jabron already registered it. Rob's like, I'm not sharing anything. All right, fair enough. Thank you. I can pull up the badges now. Big thanks to the people that left the badges on Instagram. B Brito 30, Artistry by Jennifer, Lana Liberty, Nikki Bella Lee, Captain Casey, EDC, Miss M80, FNP Girl, and Demon. Thank you guys and gals and theys and thems and zeros so much for the donations on the Instagram badges, and thank you for the person that left the badge on YouTube. I really appreciate it. Thanks for people that have been buying stuff on BobbySauce.com. I appreciate the support and the love. Bro said, "Follow me on like 1,000 different apps." Look, what I realized a long time ago is that I have to be platform agnostic. I have to have a theoretical home base, but people need to be able to consume the information wherever they want. I listen to certain podcasts only on YouTube or only on Spotify, depending on where I'm at. Like if I want to save battery, I'll only listen to audio on Spotify. So I think it's really important to appear in all these places, especially if you want to distribute your message far and wide. So I have no loyalty to any one platform. I'm in as many places as I can. Thank you, Patriot Girl 179 for the badge. Excuse me, I appreciate that. Thank you guys for following on TikTok. Appreciate that as well. This has been a lot of fun. I have very much enjoyed it. And like I said, if you enjoyed the pod and you enjoyed what happened here, please consider sharing it. I think I'm going to sign off for now. That is 1 hour, 33 minutes, and 55 seconds that we just went live. This is episode 1 of the Bobby Sauce Show. Follow along at BobbySauce.com. And like I said, please consider leaving a review on Spotify, on Instagram, everywhere you can, and follow along on all the podcast sites. That is all for now. Instagram, thank you so much. Much love. My first platform, the first place where anybody followed along. Thank you so much, Instagram. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it so much. I will see you tomorrow. Instagram, see you later. TikTok, thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. I'm not sure how to even end the lives. I haven't done it, but I'm going to try. Thank you, TikTok. I will see you later. And to the people that are watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Getter, and Rumble, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I had so much fun, and that is all for now. I will see you later. I'm going to try to see if I can go out with the music. All right, y'all.